So Mehrdad, where's your jersey?
Well, I told you in the group chat, bro. It's the fucking funeral.
Hmm.
It's the funeral. I mean, I know you haven't worn a jersey for 2 weeks because you went from title contenders to top fighting for top four. So it's been a funeral for you since December. What is
Yeah,
this? Almost 3 months?
yeah. No, I mean it has for me, but I try to keep a positive mindset.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I still show up for the games, right? I still watch the games that happen. I don't let it get me down, right?
Mm. Just
Yeah.
running through the motions, right?
No, 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 not
Just
at
just
all.
like Everton, Southampton, Leicester, the bottom of the table, just running through the motions. Nothing to play for anymore, right?
No, 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 man. We still got our European trophy to play for. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why you guys are laughing.
I mean, well, in
No,
that
because you're
case, then yes, we actually have a European trophy, not a consolation prize, and
But funny enough,
whatever,
when I
whatever the
mentioned
conference
that to
is.
you, right? You even that wasn't enough to
Well, because I'm realistic. Like you're playing for a consolation prize where, I think if we went back to the York days and you guys put your team together, they could beat any team in that conference league. So it's not really
Jeez.
any competition.
Hey man. I mean, with your run of form, do you think Arsenal would produce results in the Conference League if you
Oh,
guys are
100%. Ass backwards, we fucking score.
mm, really with that front three?
100%. Mikel Marino coming. I'll give him a wig and he'll look Marwan Fellaini and he'll score.
All right, okay,
Against real teams, maybe not.
okay,
Na
okay.
name me one team in the Conference League without looking at your phone.
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen's in the Conference League?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Hold on, fact check this. Copenhagen. Wow. Bravo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, man.
Wow. That's actually I'm honestly impressed.
Mm. Now name me the last year Arsenal won a major trophy without looking at your phone.
Without looking, a major trophy. 2019.
2020, fam. Come on,
Sorry,
2020.
2020. Well, 2020, 2019, 2020, a season. Same shit.
You know what? One might not even count that as a trophy. I guess that's up for debate. Or
Well, I
sorry, a
mean,
major trophy, I should say.
yeah,
It's a trophy, but is it a major trophy?
Wait,
That's
what
the
trophy was it?
FA Cup.
Champions League.
Ah, you wish. You wish. I know they say, you gotta manifest, right? You gotta manifest it, but damn, bro. Like, even if you were to say it, with your whole soul, I don't think you guys are touching that trophy within the next, at least until Arteta's out, is what I would say. You guys gotta get yourself a real manager, a manager with a proven track record.
Like Maresca?
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, CJ, is this the same man that we record these, so we can go back. This is the same man that last week said we need a more, you know, proven manager at Chelsea, like a Pochettino.
Bro, Laurent be flip-flopping all the time, bro. The man loves Arteta, and now he's saying that we can't win Champions League until we get him out. Like, make up your mind, bro. The
listen,
fuck?
all I'm saying is at this point, your last result, I think, was really telling.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I think at that point everyone just woke up from whatever delusions they were suffering, and now we are in we're dealing with reality. Fact is that, right, like you said, Rolls Royce that's actually starting to break down, right? Back line, and then the front is Beck Taxi.
Hmm.
Beck Taxi is very generous. It's very generous. Thank you for that. Beck Taxi is very generous. We're not Beck Taxi. We're the fucking
Jeez.
tech taxi company that like literally has a negative 1 star review. The front line. No disrespect to Trossard, Wanyeri, but like That's
I
anyway.
know. So I mean, explain that to us, guys. Like, right?
Yeah.
Explain it to the audience that's
Yeah.
you're tuning in.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
going on?
welcome back. Welcome back. Episode 3. Might be a little bit of a heavy one for all the listeners. It's been a tough week as an Arsenal fan. As always, joined by my co-hosts, Laurent and CJ.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'm just gonna say my piece and I'm gonna sit back because uh I'm hurting, like straight up. I'm wearing black today. It's the funeral, like straight up, I'm hurting. One part of it is like I fully get we don't have a striker, we don't have forwards or forwards injured. I get all of that, but like I'm glad that Arteta finally came out and like said something about the players. At the end of the day, you're playing for Arsenal Football Club. Like you're not playing for like no low level team. You got to show your fucking heart. You're not playing for like a mid table or you're not like show your heart. You knew that this was one of the it was a I think CJ you said it last week when we were chatting off air like it's that banana peel game, right? And it turned out to be that. I get it. Like Saka has been injured, Jesus has been, but the performance in itself was awful. Like Miles Lewis Skelly, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Like you've had a good run of games. Like I get it. It's a lot of pressure for an 18-year-old to be in. It's probably one of the biggest, the only mistake that he's made since he's been here or been playing regularly. But like, what are you thinking? Just make the simple play, make the simple pass. Um, but just disgraceful. Or as Arteta says, disgracia. Fucking disgraceful.
Laurent?
Hey, I'm gonna let you say your piece.
Hmm. I got a lot to say, so I don't know. I just want to make sure Mehrdad said what he's got to say. I want to make sure you get your bit in because yeah, there's a lot we got to talk about.
Yeah, there's a couple other stuff we'll chat about after, but yeah, I like, and you know me. You said it the first episode. I'm the optimist, but right now, like, what's there to be
Yeah.
optimistic about? What Saka coming back, Martinelli coming back, for us to, you know, banter FC next year FC? Like it's like at this point, like, what are you arguing? There's nothing to argue. It's the fucking truth. How like last piece, CJ, before I let you take over. How, and again, sorry for all the explicits. How the fuck is relegation battling Spurs getting Matthias Tell? Matthias Tell is not going to solve our issues. He would not. However, he has that edge. He has that like give me the ball and let me try to make a play. How the fuck is Nando's FC getting that? And they're in a relegation battle. How? How do you know? I don't care if he's not your style, Arteta. You need a fucking player. You need someone. You're gonna go for a 20-year-old who's proven at Bayern Munich in one of the biggest leagues, or you're gonna go for a fucking 30-year-old Ollie Watkins for 60 mil. Like, let's be real now. Anyway, sorry. That's yeah.
Honestly, it's sad when we have optimists like you, one of the most optimistic guys I've known over the years when it comes to Arsenal. Um, for them to have brought you to this point of like an emotional breakdown is insane, bro. Because I'm not used to seeing this from you. Like, there's always some sort of positivity. There's always some sort of light in the tunnel when it comes to you. Anyone who knows Mehrdad knows that. When it comes to him and Arsenal, there's just always some optimism. There's always something to look forward to. But the point that the club has brought us to is not. This would kill the most optimistic Arsenal fan. It really would. Like yesterday was like one of the lowest of lows. And it's nothing new really, like in terms of, what we're accustomed to. Like Arsenal has, let's be real, like Arsenal has bottled many games over recent times, over recent years in title races and big ties. And like there's just something fundamentally wrong. Like it starts with the lack of ambition, and the lack of ambition starts from the top. There's a lot of people who are accountable. Um, and I think, at this moment in time, it's kind of like a roundabout. It's a repeat of things that we've seen over the years, a repeat of things that we've seen, in the Wenger days. You know, Obviously Unai Emery and his tenure didn't last too long, but it all starts from the very top, above the manager. I've spoken many times about my pessimistic view of the manager and how good is he really long term, but ultimately it's above that. It's the people who make the big decisions at the club. It's the ownership. Um, and the lack of ambition starts from them. But to simply put, before we even get into all of that and where we all believe the problems lie, I wanted to do a quick breakdown of a game, an analysis of the game, because I think our viewers deserve that and deserve an analysis on the actual match itself and what went wrong. Because despite all our current off-field issues at the moment and our lack of ambition, yesterday's game was still there to be won. We still had 11 quality players on the pitch, right? So there was still a game there to be won. We were playing West Ham, who is fighting, near the bottom of the league with, Manchester United for relegation, essentially. Sorry, United fans, but I'm speaking from the heart. It is what it is. That's a West Ham side who's been struggling. And, they come to the Emirates like they did last season and they turn us over. And when as much as there's issues, like I said, with the ownership, with what I believe is the manager, those players, I think, really let everybody down yesterday. We went to a Dubai training camp not too long ago to refresh the players. The point was to rejuvenate the players and come back, with hunger, with determination, with a league to fight for, because there is, before yesterday, there was a league to be fighting for. We could have gone 5 points gap between us and Liverpool with level on games. 5 points is not a lot with the amount of remaining games that there was left. And we shot ourselves in the foot. You're at home versus West Ham. What more motivation do you need? Yes, we have players missing, but the players that we do currently have there, I believe we're still good enough to get the job done. They let us down. They really did let us down. Calafiori at left back. If I'm gonna break down the goal, buddy, that defending was shambolic. The whole first half, he made Wan-Bissaka look like prime Cristiano Ronaldo. Bro, how do you have Wan-Bissaka doing step overs on you? You know what I mean? Like, he's flying down that right wing. He's flicking the ball over Calafiori's head. Bro, Calafiori looked like he wanted nothing to do with him. Like, the man was shook. He was scared. He didn't close him down at all. You saw it even before the goal. Like, every time Wan-Bissaka got the ball out there, it looked like a problem down their right flank.
Yeah.
We did not do enough to close that down or to stop it. And again, this is Wan-Bissaka. We're not talking about Ronaldo. We're not talking about Mo Salah. Wan-Bissaka has 0 techers, 0, and you're gonna let him do that to you. You're gonna let him give you step overs like he's prime Cristiano Ronaldo from 2008 in the Prem. That's a disgrace. Close him down. You're not allowed a cross to come in, right? Calafiori is slow to get out to him. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if he's just gonna. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what he was thinking. Like, he might have thought that Wan-Bissaka didn't have those, and he doesn't have the ability to put a decent ball to the box. I mean, this is still a Premier League fullback. Like, do your homework, do your research. You can't allow for those things to happen. Lo and behold, like I said, prior to the goal, Wan-Bissaka was causing problems down that side, and we should have read that early on. And to be honest with you, this isn't the first time Calafiori has made these defensive mistakes or defensive lapses. We've seen it in previous games. We saw it in Man City against Savinho. We've seen it a couple of times in the Champions League where he's just gotten done down that left side. He's great going forward, but sometimes defensively he's a little bit, there's question marks about him defensively, Calafiori. And so when I'm watching yesterday unfold and I'm seeing prior to the goal, I'm saying, okay, we have a little bit of a problem here. Like, there's a lot of they're creating a lot down that right hand side. Wan-Bissaka is getting forward quite a lot with the freedom of the park, and we're not closing him down. And I'm looking at Calafiori there first and foremost. Close a player down, but he doesn't. The cross comes in, and after that, it's even more shambolic defending. Jared Bowen, who is probably as short as, I don't know, my girlfriend. Like, brother, like, what do you mean? Like, how is there 3 of you in the box between Gabriel, Declan Rice? I don't know who else was there at the time.
Saliba was there too.
Who?
Saliba was there too.
Saliba? Okay. I thought Saliba might have been out of position, but we have, bottom line is we have the numbers because Jared Bowen is the only West Ham player in the box. He's 5'0". We have 6'2", Declan Rice, 6'3", Gabriel. between all of you who were in the box at that moment in time, nobody picked him up. We all just decided, oh, I'm going to leave it for the other person, or we just switched off. How? He's the one sole player in the box, and he should have nothing on you in the air. But Wan-Bissaka picks up the cross and finds the one player in the box that that causes the damage. Jared Bowen is playing up top for them yesterday. That's not Mikel Antonio. That's not Evan Ferguson, who they had off the bench. That's not Full Crew, who they've had in recent times. This is Jared Bowen. Aerially, Jared Bowen's a quality player, but aerially, he should not beat us. We should not be relying on the box. Free header in the box, boom, goal, 1-0. And what did I say to you guys last week we recorded? I said, in this moment when Arsenal is lacking forward players and and firepower up front, we need to get the first goal more often than not, because if we get the first goal, because of how good we are defensively, we'll probably be able to manage a game. But if teams, God forbid, score on us first, then we have a real problem, because we already are shit essentially in our forward line right now. Let's be real. This is the worst forward line I've seen Arsenal put out, and in a title race, right? I'm thinking to myself, how did we get here? How have we gotten to a point that in a title race, 5 years of Arteta's tenure in his reign, we've built a squad now where we're putting out a forward line of well, last week it was Sterling, but this week Marino, Trossard, and our 17-year-old Ethan Wanyeri. This is our forward line at the moment, and we're in a title race. That front three wouldn't start for West Ham. I would take Jared Bowen, Kudus over any of our front three at the moment. That's embarrassing. West Ham's in 15. What are we doing? I'm looking at, and that's why I said the board is a problem, yes, but yesterday in isolation, Arteta wasn't the issue, but it's just an issue of recruitment over the last 4 or 5 years, because he too is part of the problem. Of course he is, because we built this squad, and how are we in a position now where that's our front three? Even with injuries, our front three should still be strong enough to do a job. That front three yesterday, like I said, that's like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, we have no center forward. We pulled out a 17-year-old from the academy who's going to be great, by the way, but he's not the guy for right here, right now. We're not going to rely on a 17-year-old right now. And Leandro Trossard, who's been out of form all season. So we're in a title race, and I can name 90% of the teams in the league who have a better front three than ours at the moment. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, we did that episode
That's
one.
embarrassing.
We did that episode one. Dude, when you go from the bottom up, I said there maybe even a discussion for some of the players from Southampton, which they're going back down. It's
100%.
and you know what the thing is, when you said that analysis, when I was watching the goal back, like Declan Rice was there. He ran with Owen to the box, and he was constantly checking. And then that last second when the cross came, he stepped forward instead of like realizing, okay, Gabriel's in front of me. So if the ball's coming in, Gabriel's already there.
Mm.
Why don't I just go pin my man?
Mm.
And he just went right past him. Like,
And is it sad that at that moment I knew the game was over, because I said, based on what
100%.
I said last week in the analysis, if we go behind to these teams, we're screwed. We are screwed because we already cannot score. So we go behind that, even that early on. Previous times under Arsene Wenger, with our great attacking fluent football, even under Unai Emery, early Arteta days, when we have our full strength team, you go 1-0 down at home to a team like West Ham, you're thinking, yeah, it's fine. It's early in the game. We'll come back at some point. I knew from whatever minute that was in the game, early in the first half, I said, we're screwed. We're not getting 2 points today. And I should not be feeling like that. I should be feeling that at home. Even if we go 1-0 down to a team in the bottom half of the table, there's plenty of time to get back into the game.
Especially in
Plenty
a
of
title
time.
race. Especially in a title race, knowing what that's gonna do for us in the title race, knowing that West Ham ruined our title race previously,
Mm-hmm.
knowing what it means, and even if you can't come back in the first half, like get that spark going for the second half, like come out and you know stick into it. But it
But
was such a dead performance.
but
It was abysmal.
this is what I mean though as well. Like, the players didn't do themselves any favors. Everybody was accountable
Mhm.
for this. Like, everybody, players, everybody. Like, none of them showed anything. Declan Rice had a horrible game. I don't know if it was because he's playing against his old team, and he's still a little bit emotional from that move. He was awful. Got hooked, rightfully so. Our defenders, Saliba giving the ball away, basic passes out of the back, giving the ball away. Gabriel again switching off. Calafiori, we already mentioned him and how poor he's been defensively as of late. Odegaard, can we talk about Martin Odegaard? What has
Martin
happened to
who?
him,
What?
bro? What has happened to him? Seriously, this is a genuine question I'm having for y'all. Like,
I
what is
honestly,
Saka's path?
honestly, I think he needs Saka back because I don't think he's as creative, and
Bingo.
I think that right side, as good as Timber is, I'm happy that Ben White is back because maybe
So am I.
Ben White coming back for them to get that spark back together, maybe that might be good, and we can solidify the left back position with a little bit better defense. But
We
Odegaard's
need
been,
we need to have
but
a conversation about him, bro. We
yeah,
do.
only my only caveat to the Odegaard situation is it is it because we've become so one-dimensional without forwards that that's why he's struggling because teams are shutting down his lanes and he's got no one to really pass to, or is it something wrong with him? That's the only
No,
part that I don't know.
a mark of a great player is somebody who can produce on their own terms without the helping hand of another player or other players' assistance. What I mean by that is earlier on in this season, or actually ever since Granit Xhaka left, remember in prime 23, 24, no, 22, 23 season, when Xhaka was still here, Xhaka's last season, everyone said our left flank was firing. Zinchenko was peak, Xhaka was balling, and Martinelli was balling on the left wing, right? But ever since Xhaka has left and that left side has fallen apart, everyone said Martinelli's game has changed too. And they're like, oh, well, Martinelli doesn't have the same consistency and the same, Granit Xhaka to help him out, feed in the ball early, et cetera, et cetera. And I get all that. But at the same time, a professional footballer should not need the help of another player in order to perform. There's only so much of that I would accept as a player. And the same thing I think applies for Odegaard is he's getting exposed now. What? Because he doesn't have Saka means you can't ball? Come on, man. We're relying on you now. You're the captain. You wear the armband every week. The performances that you're putting in, just because Saka's not there, what Saka shows what he's really about. Because when Odegaard wasn't there, Saka was still balling.
He's
Saka still put up the
balling.
numbers,
He carried the
right?
team. He carried the
Right.
team.
So we now know who our true best player is in attack because everyone was saying before is it Odegaard, is it Saka, who carries this attack? Well, when Odegaard was out, Saka was still doing his thing, but Saka's been out and Odegaard has been invisible.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you need Saka to perform. You're our captain. You came from Real Madrid. You're the captain of your country. You're supposed to be one of the best midfielders in the league, which the last 2 seasons he's been our player of the season. I haven't agreed with that, by the way. I thought it was Declan Rice last year, and the year before that, I thought it was Saka. Odegaard gets a lot of high praise, but for me, he's been shambles this season too. He's been
Terrible.
very poor, and I'm looking at our captain at this moment in time to step up at these times. You know, our captains of our past, some of the best captains in the league. And in relation to Arsenal specifically, Patrick Vieira, these kind of guys will grab the team by the scruff of the neck and carry us through. But Odegaard, he's not doing that. And yes, we can say he doesn't have the forwards. The the lines are not being what's the word? The teams are low blocking us, so there's not the space for him to create. Our forwards are not helping him with the lack of movement, with the lack of you know general ability. Let's say, but at the same time, he's not doing basic things. He's also now doing wrong. He's giving the ball away in cheap areas. He's not shooting. 2 years ago, he was shooting. How many goals did he get from outside the box? Low drives into the bottom corner for a couple of seasons ago. Now he's barely even shooting. He's looking for the basic intricate passes, and he's trying to thread the eye of the needle. Like, dude, sometimes just have a pop, have a shot, put the ball in the box properly. Stop dinking it, trying to dink the ball over 6'5" defenders who are low blocking you to nobody. Like, brother, have a shot. Have a shot. He's giving, like I said, he's giving the ball away in basic areas now. He doesn't even look like himself. And it's like, where is the Odegaard we saw 2 seasons ago? Have the confidence, have the belief in yourself, put the ball in the box. He takes so long to get the ball into the box. That second half yesterday, we have free kicks. He's letting Raheem Sterling, who's not even a player of ours on loan, take a free kick off him. Why is Sterling taking that free kick and then Sterling
Yeah,
hits the wall?
I was like, what are you doing? No.
Odegaard, you're captain. Take that free kick. Aren't you the man? You have the techers. No, take that free kick. Why is Sterling taking our free kicks? Like, it's just everybody just looks so poor and lacking in confidence and lacking in belief, and that's not what we saw in Odegaard a couple years ago. Like, I don't recognize who he is right now.
Yeah. Laurent, you got anything to add to that?
What's so funny, Laurent? Why are you smiling?
Because as soon as he said Sterling taking it, his head popped up and he started smiling. He's like, "Ooh, I heard a Chelsea player."
Because he knows he sent his guys over to us to sabotage our plans.
Yeah, man, you already know, bro. That's how we scheme. Nah, but yeah, honestly, man, like in terms of like what I have to say, I mean, what else is there to say? It's like it's the same thing that we've been saying for the past like how many seasons? Toothless Arsenal. Truly, like this script, this story, we've right. we've heard, right? It's been written how many times now? Contending for the title towards the end of the season, and then suddenly it's like you guys disappear, right? So at this point, yeah, no, I think in terms of like your signings, whoever is leading the charge with that in your camp has to figure that out, or either you're removing people, but this year it cannot happen next season, that's for sure. Because yeah, at that point it's just right. You guys are just competing for what, top four?
Yeah, going back to the top 4 days.
Yeah, top four. You know, you guys get to play in some competitions, right? Champions League, and then you exit when it's your time to exit. And yeah, no.
But
It's
here's a dangerous thing about that, about what you just said. We, as Arsenal fans, will all see that as a failure. Mehrdad said at the beginning of the season, if Arteta doesn't win a trophy this year, he thinks it's a failure, right? And we're all going to get on the manager's back, and we're all going to get on the club's back because it's about this time. It's time to win trophies, and it's tangible success, right? We want tangible success as trophies. Funny enough, Laurent, last week you were reading out a stat about how well Arteta's done because he's unbeaten in X amount of games. He had the same record as Arne Slot at the time. Well, that went down the window real quick. Our under he's had undefeated records for a couple times over the last 2 seasons now. Like down the stretch last year, we won 16 out of 18 games. Didn't
Mhm.
get over the line in terms of lifting the trophy. Those stats are only so good. Last season we scored the most goals that we've ever done. We've outscored the Invincibles. Our away record, at away grounds last season, we barely lost away from home, especially in the second half of that season. Like we went on some unbelievable runs, but some of these statistics are only going to carry you so far if you're not lifting trophies at the end of the season and you don't have
Mhm.
tangible success. You know, I'm a big LeBron James guy. For switching gears for a second, we all talk about his stats and how many records he's broken, but word to Drake, they don't have no awards for that. Trophies. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Trophies. That's all people want to hear. LeBron will get knocked because of how many finals losses he has. Does he have 6 rings like MJ? No, he doesn't. Okay, so then don't talk to me about stats. That's what people say. And that's the same arguments that we're going to bring to the table about Arteta and Arsenal now. We're the nearly men. We're the nearly men. You finish second. Oh, you have cute runs. Oh, you have cute undefeated runs. Oh, you score so many goals. Oh, look at your away record away from home. How many clean sheets, how many victories away from home, smashing teams away from home. Well, it didn't show up for anything last season, did it? Because we didn't win the league. And now the same unbeaten record that we carried into this season, we haven't lost in the Premier League since Newcastle, I believe it was, in the back end of November, something along those lines. Yeah, it was a nice, cute little unbeaten run. Boom, all of a sudden, as of yesterday, it doesn't mean shit because now we're out of the title race, and no one's gonna remember that we went on this cute little run. You know, like I'm tired of it. It's a lack of ambition, and so top four. Back to the original statement, top four is not going to be good for us. But you know who it's going to be good for? It's going to be good for our board and our ownership because we're
Mhm.
going down a dangerous, slippery slope of the Arsene Wenger days, where all the Kroenkes wanted, our ownership, all they wanted was for us to get into top four. Why? Because that's Champions League revenue, that's Champions League money, that's
Mhm.
going into their pockets. That's all they care. They don't want us to. If they really want us to win the league, then money would have been splashed in last summer for a forward, or money would have been splashed in January. But we're going down this roundabout of okay, Wenger out. Wenger is out because the fans protested and stadiums became empty. Our stadium became empty in home games because they wanted Wenger out. And then that's when the ownership made a move to get rid of the manager. Why? Because the pockets are being affected. People are not showing up to the games. Thousands of seats are being emptied in the stadium,
I think you
right?
guys should
So,
take that route again.
Yeah,
huh?
but
I think
but even then, like let's just say the fans go that route. It, and I'm not trying to be an Arteta truther, but the question comes back like who is to blame? And when you start talking about like what happened with Wenger and the Kroenkes, like I
Yeah.
don't I don't know if just sacking Arteta, bringing the next guy in, and getting that like little initial push is gonna result in anything different because the board is still there, the mindset is still there. And listen, I think Arteta for this specific loss, I think this is all on Arteta, like 1,000%.
Agreed. The
One,
West Ham game.
yeah, it's 100% all on him. I,
Okay.
this
Why do
game,
you think that?
I think he got the tactics completely wrong. I wouldn't have taken it off. I wouldn't have taken off Declan Rice. Even though he's having a poor game, I still wouldn't have taken him off unless it was for injury. If it's for injury, I'll put my hand up and say sorry. But I don't think he was injured. I wouldn't have taken him off. Taken him off. I know we're playing Wednesday, but I don't give a fuck. You just came back from Dubai, so you should be fresh. The Lewis Skelly, I still would have kept Calafiori on. If I'm gonna bring Lewis Skelly up, I would have flipped him with Trossard to play up top just to give us a little bit more control up there because they're playing such a low block. I'd want someone that's as intricate as Trossard. He's shown it before. Um, and like I honestly I would have rather bring on Zinchenko than Sterling. I know one year he was injured or Arteta said was cramping. I wouldn't have brought on Sterling. I would have brought Zinchenko. I would have brought Tierney. I would have brought like you bought Butler or DG a go. Throw some chaos into it. Throw a kid in there that's just trying to prove himself. Like what do we have to lose? We needed 2 goals. Stop going for the
Interesting.
structure. Stop going for the control. You don't need control right now. The control's got you here, but that next step is we need a little bit of chaos. A la like Liverpool. They have that chaos, you know.
But here,
Not
I think, yeah, continue. Sorry.
no, no, sorry, sorry. No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to say, and I think this is good for the dialogue actually, in terms of two perspectives, because funny enough, I said that in isolation, like yes, Arteta has had his issues, bigger picture, but in isolation, yesterday's game, I actually didn't put on him, and
Mm,
that's because he was actually dealt the cards that he had, and he used the cards that he had. Essentially, if that makes sense. Like there wasn't much he could have done in yesterday's game because we do not have the firepower. Like I think yesterday, the lineup that he started with,
fair.
I think is a lineup that we all would have started because what else are we gonna do? In the second half, you know what's funny? And I was gonna put this in our group chat at halftime. I said he should change it and go for a more attacking. To your point, he should go for a more attacking lineup to start the second half. Because and I still think Declan Rice was not having a good game. A lot of people don't think he's a number 8. A lot of people think he's better in the 6. I think that's still debatable. He's shown signs of being good in the 8, but yesterday wasn't his day. So I would have brought on a more attacking. I would have made more attacking substitutions. And I think, funny enough, again, and you know me, Mehrdad, like I give Arteta so much shit all the time, but I think he made the right substitution early in the second half by taking out
Fair.
Calafiori and Declan and bringing on MLS and Zinchenko. Why? Because I think Zinchenko and MLS, funny enough, he played them in reverse. Like he had Zinchenko at left back. Sorry, he had Skelly at left back,
Yeah, and
Zinchenko in the
everything.
left eight. I would have reversed it and put Skelly in the left 8 and Zinchenko at left back because I think going forward, Skelly has more of a goal threat as he showed it with that goal against
Oh,
Man
okay,
City.
fair. Fair.
Skelly has more goal threat than Zinchenko, so I feel like Skelly should have been playing in the 8 and Zinchenko should have been playing left back. So I think he made the right double sub with those two. Here's also where I say Arteta, I'm not going to blame him because he didn't expect Skelly to get sent off. None of us expected Skelly to get
No.
sent off. That red was 100% Skelly's fault.
Yeah, that was a
This
straight
is
that was a red. There's no arguing. I don't want to
100%,
hear. I don't want to hear
100%.
anyone saying, "Oh, Raya was there, Saliba was there."
Yeah,
That's a red card.
it's a red.
Like that's one for VAR that I can say, bravo, you got it right. Like
Right.
100%. That's a red 10 out of 10 times.
And so at that point, his game plan is out the window. I did kind of feel for him a little bit in that moment because I'm like, well, you bring on these two substitutions to change the game, which I think were the right subs because Calafiori was having a nightmare and so was Declan. So I think those were the two right changes to make if you don't have a striker, if you don't have a forward. Because if you look to our bench, who was our attacking options? Raheem Sterling
And
and
Butler, DG.
our young boy or Deji. So like he hesitated. Funny enough, that's the state of where we're at and how bad Sterling is, but also how poor our options are. That when you need a goal, our first option was not to bring on a forward in Sterling. Our first option was to bring on two left backs or left-sided players, a midfielder to left. Like that's how sad it is. Like what attacking team, what team who's trying to win a league will look to their bench when they need a goal and bring on a left back or a left midfielder before bringing on anyone in the forward line. Like, isn't that how embarrassing is that? I'm sitting there
Yeah.
watching this. I'm like, this is a shambles. This is so poor. And then finally, because Ethan is cramping, that's when he says, "Oh shit, okay, Sterling, come here you go. Get
Yeah.
on the pitch." Like that's the state of where we're at. Like the man was reluctant, and what does that say about Sterling for Sterling's confidence too? Like you're sitting there for almost 80 minutes of the game, and we need a goal, and you're still sitting on the bench. If I'm Sterling, I'm like, yeah, bro, you know what? I'm starting to think about collecting my pension and just retiring after the season because clearly the manager doesn't trust me, you know? Like, and so in isolation, I just think, yeah, like Arteta was he used the cards that he was dealt because we didn't have much, and then we're now down a man. We get a red card because of Lewis Kelly, and now yes, he's 18 and he's young, but it's a mistake and he'll learn from it. But that's why it's all on him for that red card, and it was all on the players for not showing up. Arteta could only have done so much yesterday in isolation,
Yeah.
I think. Because we don't have the options. Bigger picture is that, of course, that part of that is his fault because of the recruitment. Because
Yeah.
for 5 years of recruitment, why is that the team that we're putting out? I want you guys to have a look at our bench yesterday. If you look at our bench yesterday, why was 90% of it defenders and defensive midfielders? Why?
Yeah.
How does
But
that work?
but again, that comes back to the question, like who is to actually blame? Is it because Arteta had a vision of the players that he wanted to sign in the summer and the board didn't give him money, or same thing in January? Was it like 100% like they'll never come out and say it, but the optics of it are that Ollie Watkins was a publicity stunt to get the fans in their good books. But like if we get to the discussions of like just to say, oh, Arteta out, blah blah blah, but like, is it truly him? Because for Arsene Wenger, I don't think it was him. I think he was doing a very good job protecting the board, and he has so much
Oh
passion
yeah,
for the club,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think, and again, I'm not trying to be an Arteta truther because I did say at the beginning of the year if he doesn't win anything, I think we need to start asking questions, and I would consider sacking Arteta. But now seeing things unfold like this, I'm starting to question myself. I'm like, okay, he's getting the long leash because we went from being like a laughing stock, playing David Luiz, Socrates,
Mhm.
Mustafi. Like we're talking about play like those aren't Arsenal players to actually, you know, being a force to be reckoned with. Like we're going into games expected to win. Whereas before we were going to into games being like, ah shit, like are we gonna draw? Are we gonna do like you know, Wenger created the Emirates. Arteta turned the lights on. But do I think that he has a tactical brilliance to take us to the next step? I personally believe he does, but the investment isn't there. And I don't know why. I really don't understand why. If the board was so keen on this 6 phase plan, like what fucking phase are we at, bro? Are we at phase fucking 10? Like just pay the money. Like now that Liverpool's gonna sell Nunez, if Liverpool goes for fucking
He's
what's
a
it called? Isak,
it's a wrap.
listen, like let's be real. Let's have an honest conversation. Liverpool have won European trophies. I believe they've done a double. They've won the Carabao Cup, they've won FA Cups, they've won the Premier League recently after 30 or 40 years. Like, why would I come to Arsenal as a player? Why? Because of the London, like let's be honest. Like even if Chelsea was like right up there with us at third place, and Chelsea went in for Isak, like if I was Isak, I would be like European pedigree, FIFA Club World Cup champion. Like I'm just being real. Like it hurts me to say this, but I'm being real. How do you like how is it that we've progressed so much in the 5 years, but also we've not in the grand scheme of things. We haven't progressed at all.
Because let me ask you this, because we've Arteta signed 31 players since he's been in charge. 31. How many of those are strikers?
I would say zero. I would argue and say zero. I wouldn't
Zero.
count. I wouldn't
Half.
count Jesus. I wouldn't count. I wouldn't count
Jesus is the
Havertz.
half one that I would give him as the only striker that he's signed, well, striker. So out of 31, here's where it's a combination of both for me, and I'm glad we're getting into this because again, we need to give our analysis on where the bigger picture lies and who is to blame because getting into it this way will I think will help shed some light. First of all, this is therapy session for us, but I think we need to shed light on the bigger issues and there's a big debate in the Arsenal community about is it the manager, is it the board? But I think it's a combination of everything because Arteta's been given a lot of power at this club. Like, remember, he was head coach when he first came in. He was quickly changed from head coach to manager like this. Unai Emery was only head coach. Unai Emery did not get the. Yes, he may not have been the right fit at the time, but he did. He definitely did not get as much time as Arteta did. But in his first season, Unai Emery got us to a Europa League final and on the brink of top four with players that he didn't even want, with dead players that were still Wenger's players. And so essentially, he almost worked miracles in that first season, in my opinion, considering he didn't get the
Yeah.
financial backing, considering he didn't get his players. The man took us to the Europa League final, and he almost got us into top four with dead players from a previous regime who were toxic. So who knows what he could have done with the same amount of time as Arteta, with the same amount of investment that Arteta's had. I think the board might look at it in a way that one big summer that we did have in terms of financial outlay, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Timber, and Raya. I think the board might look at that and say, well, we gave you big money at that season, but what have you done with it? Kai Havertz was supposed to be your big investment. We're now spending nearly 300K on him. He is your failed midfielder turned striker now, and you still need a striker. So essentially, Kai Havertz isn't starting in our midfield, and now we want a striker for the summer. Because Kai Havertz is not going to be the main man to lead us to a Premier League title up top. So would the board, if I'm playing devil's advocate, does the board look at it and say, well, Arteta, we gave you 65 M's for Kai Havertz, and we gave you 275K a week to pay Kai Havertz, who's your highest paid player at the club. But in a year's time, if you get the summer financially that you want, Kai Havertz isn't even going to be a starting player because he doesn't start in your midfield. And when we get the striker that we want, he's not starting up top. So would the board look at it and say, I don't know if I trust you with the funds that we're giving you because your big signing in Kai Havertz hasn't turned, let's be real, I'm not going to call him a failure, but he hasn't turned out to be what we wanted him to be for the financial outlay. So would they look at it like that and say, Arteta, how was your recruitment? How was your talent ID? Because you kind of got the Kai Havertz one a little bit wrong.
The rest of it has been, but the rest of it has been right. Like then you can look at Jurgen Klopp, for example, with Nunez, 90 million for Nunez, and he got Jota for a steal and Luis Diaz. Like all his other signings have been bang on. Like there's gonna be not every signing is
Klopp or Arteta's.
No, I'm talking about Klopp.
Oh,
Like even Arteta, I would say like the rest of his signings aside from Kai have been bang on, in my opinion. Like if you look at our back line, if you look at the players that he's brought in, like you can see the mold that he's trying to create. Like yeah, some of his early sign like Marquinhos. I think Marquinhos was more of an Edu thing. Austin Trusty and fuck, what was that U.S. keeper's name? Matt Turner. I think that was more like publicity for like getting into the U.S. market from the Cronkies rather than an Arteta thing. Because as quickly as they came in, they went out. So like the money that he's been building
Fabio
and
Vieira,
sorry,
Sambi Lokonga, Nuno Tavares,
I think
Kivior. There's a few that we're looking at. I'm like, yo, you
okay,
got those are
Nuno Tavares, I just think that game against Forest, he crushed them. Because look, he's balling in Napoli. Like he's balling in Napoli. And if he wasn't a good player, he would have
I don't think Nuno's at Napoli actually. Is he?
I think
I
he
don't
went
think he's
back
at
to
Napoli.
Napoli if I'm not mistaken. But either way, the first year that he got what's it called? That he got loaned out to Napoli because he went to Forest first and then he went to Napoli, he balled out. They were talking about him not leaving. Was it Napoli or Marseille? Now I'm tripping out.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't Napoli. It wasn't Napoli. I'm just trying to fact check it right now. Laurent, can you fact check for us? Nuno Tavares, where's he playing? But
Um,
continue
what else
with
did
that.
you say? Kivior. I think Kivior was a success for what we wanted him to be, a squad center back. And for the big part of last year's run-in, he played a big part in it, and he held his own. Is he great? No.
Lazio.
Until he cost us in the Champions League. Oh,
He's
Lazio, yeah.
Lazio.
Lazio,
Yeah.
sorry, Lazio, yeah, Lazio. I knew it was one of those Italian clubs, but yeah, he's balling out there. Sambi Lokonga, he can't like, yeah, no, okay, Sambi Lokonga, that's two.
Zinchenko.
I think Zinchenko was a success for what we wanted him to be.
You know why? And here's why I'm sorry, and I'm just playing devil's advocate again because look, we're in phase whatever phase we're in with Arteta. Why have we still been looking for left backs? So Zinchenko obviously wasn't the guy. Zinchenko wasn't the guy. Kivior wasn't the guy. Who else we've been playing there? We've been playing Tomiyasu. We've been playing Tom, Dick, and Harry at left back ever since he's come in. We're still looking for left backs every damn year, left backs and goalkeepers. Like, when are we going to get it right? Like,
Well, I
how
think the
long we
goalkeeper we resolved, and I think if we go for a keeper, I think it's just to have a squad keeper. But the other part of like playing devil's advocate to you playing devil's advocate is the team moves on. The team, like some players evolve to the new game plan because every year is there's another iteration of the plan and some players move on, right? Like I think now when we look back in hindsight, it's 2020, not letting Nketiah go, for example, or if you're gonna sell Nketiah, maybe don't send Reece Nelson on loan, maybe don't sell Emil Smith Rowe. But again, like what if the team just outgrew them? And that maybe what's happening with Zinchenko that he can't keep pace with the defensive work rate that Arteta is asking of his left backs for them to constantly go up and down. That's a part of it. Like maybe yeah, you are right. Maybe they're like part of it is recruitment as well, but there's different iterations of the team as well. That's the only part that I would say, we got to consider as well.
and if we're going to refresh those areas, we need to refresh all areas of the pitch. We did not apply the same energy, and we have not put the same effort into our forward
Facts.
line as we have done in our back
100%.
line.
100%. That I 100% agree with you because if we're talking about like you can if a player has a skill, you can develop the tactical mindset. But on the forward line, we don't have players with those specific skills that we're looking for, and we're not investing in it. Like
And you know
again,
what's sad? Yeah, go on.
no, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and what's sad is I would argue like everyone's talking about what we need in our forward line now that everybody's injured. I would argue that with everybody fit, all our forwards fit, we still need upgrades. If we were going to be as ruthless with Ramsdale to bring in Raya and replace Ramsdale at that time, if we're going to be as ruthless with Zinchenko and get him out to bring in a better quality left back or a holding mid at the time when we had Thomas Partey but still brought in Declan Rice, like if we're going to be that ruthless in other areas, why do we not apply that to our forward line? Because I would argue everyone's saying, oh yes, we need forwards now because everyone's injured. No, when everyone is healthy,
We
we need to be
still,
just as ruthless, and
yep.
our left wingers are not good enough. I'm not going to be super sentimental with the whole Martinelli thing. Love him. He came here at a young age. Not good enough. I'm sorry.
Look at Liverpool. You
Yeah.
cut one head off and another one grows in a second.
Yeah, but their recruitment is A1, spot on,
We
spot on.
wanted we wanted Cody Gakpo. They spoke to Cody Gakpo in right before the January window opened. January, like the first couple days of the January window, Gakpo was
He's in the
already there.
door.
Like
Yes,
that's the recruitment.
their recruitment has been elite over the years, for
Yeah.
elite, and
Yeah.
and so when I think about our forward line, Saka's the only one. Like, here's how you have to look at it, right? And here's how I look at it. Remember, I said we talked about the Beck taxi versus Rolls Royce at the back. Our back line can get into most teams in the world, a la Real Madrid wants Saliba, right? Who in Europe and the big teams, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, how many of them would take any of our forwards?
Aside from Saka, I would say no one.
No one. They wouldn't even sniff at any of our forwards. They wouldn't even. Kai Havertz at Real Madrid. You're having a laugh. Sorry to say. I know a lot of us are big fans of Havertz. Martinelli the same. Trossard the same. Bro, those guys are. Saudi wants Trossard now. Does anyone in the Europe's top five leagues want Trossard? Trossard can go to Saudi this summer. Well, we can sell him to Saudi, no problem. I want to bring in a proper left winger. Like, how many of we're supposed to be in a title race. We're supposed to be competing for the Champions League. That's what Arteta said when he brought in. Remember when he brought in Willian at the time, with another failed signing. When he brought in Willian, he says, in 3 years, I want to win the Champions League. That's how he brought Willian to the club. Where's Willian now? So we have these ambitions for Champions League, Premier Leagues, Champions League, Premier League, but we don't have the team to back it. So something is not right here. And I do believe that Arteta wants to win. I do. I do believe that he has the ambitions to win. So I just don't know if he's there. Because remember, this is his first job, guys. His first job. That's like me not doing the exam to become a pilot. And I don't have the CV to be a pilot, but they say, oh, here you go. You can be a pilot, but you've never done it before. But here, try it. This is Arteta's first job in management. So, bro, there's only so much he can do because he doesn't have the experience. And this is why I say, as you say, he's turned the lights on. I argue that, and Laurent has always brought this point to me too, that look at where Arteta has brought us to. I agree, 100%. Like, we've been second for the last couple of years. We've been competing. We've broken some good records. But maybe he's brought us as far as he could bring us. Maybe he's hit a ceiling, and
Yeah.
it needs Ancelotti or a Pep or somebody like that to get us over the finish line finally. The same way Liverpool did with Brendan Rodgers and Klopp. Brendan Rodgers did really well with that Liverpool team, but he lost out in the end. He just fell short for the title. So they brought in a guy to kind of finish the job off in Jurgen Klopp, and the rest is history. So ultimately, again, the board is a bigger issue. The board, I think that's where it stems down to. The board is a bigger issue because they're the ones that show the lack of ambition because they'll be happy with this season. I don't think Arteta will. I don't think the
Yeah.
players will. The fans won't.
Mm.
But the board will be happy with Champions League. Why? Because revenue, the money's coming in.
Yeah,
So
the financial reports just came out. We made ridiculous amounts of money and our deficits went down. So it's not for a lack of them not making money or having money. It's just a lack of ambition.
and this is why I say we're going down the same slippery slope that we did under Arsene Wenger, where you know we have a manager in Wenger and now Arteta, I believe, who is going to back the board. They're going to support the board. They're not going to cause a stink like a Conte did at Tottenham, where he literally called out the board. Arteta's not going to do that. He's not that kind of guy, and so everybody, the board is happy. He's gonna show up in the media. He's not going to call out his owners. The owners are going to get top four because Arteta's delivering top four. Arteta's just going to be grateful for the job. Why? Like I said, because this is his first job. So he's grateful to be even in the job, at a club like Arsenal. So he's in the job. He's doing his thing. He's getting top four. Owners are happy. They're making money. That's it. That's where their ambition stops. They want top four because they want that revenue, right? But how are you going to push us even further to get us over the line and get us that the big players that we want to now win the league? No, you're not. That's the unfortunate thing, and that's where they're public enemy number one, our ownership,
Hmm.
and they have been for the longest time.
Yeah. Let's shift gears a little bit, get Laurent in in the conversation because that was listeners, we do apologize. It had to happen, the venting session and the therapy. But let's review some of the games from this weekend. Manchester United, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Another squeaky bum time draw against Everton, relegation battle. Um, I think I saw it on Reddit, but apparently Amaran has already warned the board that if they don't invest the way that he wants to invest, he might leave in the summer. And he's like what, 2 months in? Like, wow. Thoughts?
Man, that's an unrecognizable club.
Jeez, what a way to
Yeah,
put
I don't
that.
know. Huh?
So what a way to put that. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's like, yeah, like the Manchester United that we all know. And I believe CJ brought this up I think in the last podcast where Ferguson right, he's usually coming to the games and whatnot. And damn, like every time, they have on camera, like I'm just wondering like what goes through his head because he managed that club, right? For I think over 20 years. And just to see it in the state that it is in now, uh I don't
Shambolic.
yeah, really, really. I mean, as a Chelsea fan,
Oh,
you look at the other guy that's like failing the exam at the same time but you're not failing as bad, right? Uh,
bro, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like
yeah.
as a Arsenal fan,
Mm,
I'm all for it. As a football fan,
mm,
terrible for the game. I hate to say it, but terrible for the game. We're
mm.
talking about like Manchester United. Terrible for the game. That's like saying like Madrid, like Real Madrid is in a relegation battle. Like terrible for football. Like this is like Manchester fucking United.
Right, right.
Like for what, like the 20 years Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson were going back and forth. CJ's jersey, that's when there was a huge, you know, that's when football was football. That's
Right.
when, the players were like, "Give me the fucking ball and let me show you what I can do." Shambolic. Um, Ramsdale, feel bad for the guy. Brighton thrashed. I actually got glimpses of this game. 4-0. Ramsdale made a couple ridiculous saves, but he's gonna get relegated. And from the rumors, looks like he's either gonna go to Chelsea or Newcastle next year. So, um,
Is he?
Yeah, well, Chelsea definitely need a keeper, and he was linked to
Yeah,
them
yeah,
before when he was with us. And
yeah. He was.
Newcastle, Nick Pope, like I would put my money that Ramsdale would easily beat out Nick Pope. Like if he goes to Newcastle, he's gonna be like the biggest fan favorite ever. Because just remember what he did against in Spurs against the North London Derby, like riling the crowd up. Like though the Geordies are gonna chew that up and they're gonna fucking love him. So. But it's sad from the PFA Player of the Year to sorry one PFA Team of the Year to relegation. Fall from
And
grace.
that's what I was gonna say, man. I'd be so happy for him if he made that move to like a big club in the league, like a Newcastle or a Chelsea, even because he deserves that, man. Like this guy was at a title contending team in Arsenal, team of the year, like you said, and now he's about to get relegated with Southampton. Like his career, and now he's probably not even in the England squad anymore. In order to get back in that England squad, he's gonna need to be at a big club or be in the Premier League. So it would be sad if his career goes down that trajectory, and I don't want that for him, you know. So hopefully he gets that move, even if he does get relegated.
But dude, I'm telling you, if you go watch the highlights of that game, there's one save that he made. Like he was down and out, and he dove. Like I'm not a keeper, so I don't know the technical terms of this, but he was on the ground and he kicked off, and like stretched out his left hand and he made the save. I was like, wow, like that, like
Mm.
that's the Ramsdale that I remember. Some of the ridiculous
Yeah,
saves that he made for us.
yeah.
Um, Nando's FC for all you Nando's supporters. You guys beat up on lonely Ipswich 4-1. They're on a winning streak. 3 wins. Um, not that it matters or anything, but hey, maybe they can do us a favor beating Liverpool in a couple weeks. Not that it's gonna matter or anything.
That's not
But
gonna happen.
again, I keep fucking coming back. How did we not get Matthias Tell?
That one really has bothered you, eh?
Because it was nothing. There was nothing. There was zero investment. It was an option to buy, not even an obligation. 2 million euros to get him in, pay his fucking wages.
Yeah,
And Kulusevski, like fucking baller.
yeah. He's
Fucking
quality.
baller.
Yeah.
He's he's definitely he's a baller.
He's an Arsenal
Um
fan too, by the way.
yeah. Oh yeah. Him and Mr. Harry Kane. Palace, they fully dismantled Fulham. I don't know if you guys caught that game. Muniz or Munoz, he scored 2 goals, but one of them they counted as an own goal. But his second goal, oh my, like came off the wing, did a 1-2 on whoever their right back was, and he just blasted it over Burnt Leno. Um, but remember how last year we were talking? Was it last year or 2 years ago when we were talking about uh center attacking mids when we're talking about Elisa and Eze. Like Eze is fucking unreal.
Of course, yeah. Surprised
Like
he's still at Palace.
he like him and Mateta. Mateta's like hold up play is un like he
He's been having a good season.
yeah,
Mateta.
and he's probably gonna have a big move this summer.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have a big move. Like he played well. He had one offside goal, but the way that he held the ball up and turned, like yeah.
Didn't Ketia get off the bench for that one or no?
No. I didn't catch the last part of the game, but I don't think so. He hasn't been, yeah, I don't think he's even scored.
You know what's crazy? We've been giving Arsenal so much shit in the first half of this podcast, but the one thing I'll give the powers that be, the ownership and the recruitment team, one thing I'll give them credit for is being able to get us money for Nketiah. Because yeah, Mehrdad, you know, for the longest time, that's probably one of the players I've hated the most in the Emirates era for the last however many years. And for us to profit off of him and get him finally off our backs, bro, thank the Lord. You know, like and what I think we got like 30 mil for him, and he's not even starting for them. So that was a good move
No.
for us. You know, they paid good money for him, and they're seeing what we've been seeing for the last however many years. That the guy's he's mid, you know, average Joe. However, it's sad to say that if he was still here, he'd be starting for us right now. And
Yep.
I'm honestly, I'd be desperate for him right now, probably because
100%.
right now we're playing a CDM up top
Yep.
essentially.
Yeah.
So Joe, anyways,
Bournemouth, another loss.
Laurent, stop laughing over
Let's
No, man.
don't worry. Don't worry. I'm getting to your team.
So
I
you're getting
promise.
to it. All right, all right, all
Getting to
right.
it. Don't worry. And I
Okay.
know you're waiting. I know you're waiting for what I'm about to say about your team. But before I get to your team, Bournemouth, they had a red card. Zabrani, like
Mm.
high foot tackle. Like sure, like again, like was there intention behind him to injure someone? I don't think so. I think that's a orange that they really want to introduce. I don't think that was a straight red, in my opinion. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. But Mateus Cunha,
Mm.
like,
He's different.
and again, I understand all the comparables, and I think I was talking to you, but I understand the comparables that he's a little bit like Jesus, but what he is that's better than Jesus, he's bigger, he's taller, and he has that like Jesus is I consider him like a little bit like a flamboyant, nice winger or forward. Cunha is like, give me the fucking ball.
Yeah, he's got personality.
Like his coach came out a couple weeks ago and says, I don't want to see that from him. I do. I do. I want to
100%.
see a forward that says that. I want to see a forward that says, give me the fucking ball. I want to see a forward that loses his mind when he's not getting the ball, when he's making those runs or he's open.
Wait, his
And
coach said what? He doesn't want to see what?
it was a couple weeks ago. He lost his mind on Strand Larson. Larson was going off the wing, and instead of like cutting it back, and Cunha
Mhm.
was on top, was at the penalty spot to be able to like
Right,
switch.
right, right.
He took the shot,
Oh,
and like
oh.
after the shot, as Larson was running back, Cunha was just giving it to him.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
the end of the game, he's like, the coach is like, I'm here. I spoke to him. I don't want to see that attitude from him again, especially like we're a team, something along the lines of that. But in my head, I'm like, he's absolutely right. You have no angle from the side of the net that he was going. If he's making a late run in the box, fucking cut it back. Why not? Um, your boys, yeah, yeah. Bring that grin on, Laurent. Your boys.
I'm like,
Your
why are you
boys.
smiling?
Why am
Oh,
I smiling?
we're
Yeah.
getting to the
Th-
juicy games.
this is do you want to save this or do you want to move forward with this?
I don't know. No, listen, like I told you, man, I keep it upbeat, upbeat. You know,
Losing 2-1.
hey,
Wait, hold on. Weren't you guys were you guys in the title race?
we're never in the title race. I don't know.
What do
I
you
don't know. I don't know where you're going with that. Because I can tell you right now, if we were in the title race, right, it'd be a title race. None of
Ooh.
this, yeah, whatever is going on here.
Okay. Well, the
Yeah,
facts right now are there's only one team with probably 10 plus injuries that have been in a title race. And mathematically speaking, we're still in the title race. Um, but Cole Palmer FC are choking their way out of a top four spot. So
yeah.
what say you, Laurent, Mr. Optimist?
I think it's overall embarrassing, in my opinion. Um, yeah, like I said last time, you start off good. I think our team, for whatever reason, is struggling with closing out games or even managing games, actually. Yeah, we were up 1-0. We concede. Um, and then on top of that, right, you concede again towards like the end. It's just I think bad game management. Um, Maresca, I think, has to work on that. Like I said, I feel like in terms of just his decisions sometimes. I know he tried to put, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he tried to put Neto up top
Yeah.
a second half. Um,
Did he take out Nkunku then? Because Nkunku started up top, didn't he?
yeah, yeah, and Kunku started up top. Yeah, Kunku was subbed off. Um, but yeah, didn't work out for us. But I think in our case, it's just we have such too many laps in concentration on the defensive side. Is what I'm noticing, and then yeah, we're finding it hard to score. Um, I don't know, man. and to me too, I'm starting to see similarities in terms of the build-up play with Chelsea and Arsenal. Sometimes I feel like it's just too slow. Um, yeah, it's too slow. You're predictable, right? Teams know how to play you, and I feel like as the game progresses, teams are able to adapt to you in real time, right? And on top of that, right, if you don't have the creative players, because those are usually the players that have the ability to disrupt games, right? And create that chaos, as you say, Mehrdad. But yeah, no. So I think overall, right now, we are in a bad spot. To the point where actually some of our fans are talking about how even the Conference League, you know, is it has them worried, right? Where damn, if we play like this against some of these other teams, they're going to see us as a wounded tiger, as a wounded animal, right? And yeah, which I think is something that can happen. So it's like we definitely have to get our act together. Jackson's out for
He's out for a while, I believe, if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken. I'm not sure. I'll quickly fact check it, but I think he's out for the rest of the year
Hmm. Yeah, no. I mean, even when he was here, right? He
until
hasn't been too
April. Sorry, he's out until
yeah,
April.
he hasn't been too great for us. Yeah, man, we like it's like shit, we need a striker too at this point, right? Like yeah, and then for me, our wingers personally, I think Neto, I like him. Sancho, that's one guy now. Okay, like now, man, you is almost starting to laugh at us, right? Like, haha, yeah, right. We got you with that one. Um, he's good. He's crafty, but I feel like I need more, like a bit more decision in terms of his, like sometimes I think he thinks too long with the ball. He tries to be too cute and then loses it, right? Um, but yeah, it's like that decisiveness. Like, when you have guys like Drogba up top, right? It's almost like you're being led by generals, right? Right, like guys with such like heavy personalities. And right now, it's like there's nobody, right? Like even with you guys, right? When you look at the guys that are leading the front line, right? There's nobody. And as well as the game progresses, right? Like your morale starts to go down, right? You're down a man, right? A red card, right? You need those guys, to be able to even inspire you guys to want to equalize or put another goal in kind of thing. And on our end, I feel like we have no one. Like in Kunku, sometimes you can tell his body language is off, right? If he's having a bad game, like no one's taking that initiative to be the leader and to kind of get us going, like,
He
and then
ruined his career by going to Chelsea, and I'm not just saying it because you're a
mm,
Chelsea fan, but honestly, I think he ruined his career by going there. He had such a perfect thing.
well, at Leipzig,
Yeah,
it's like how long like Chelsea's a big club, right? How long you want to stay? And a lot, it's again, hindsight is 2020, right? You got to think of it this way, right? When guys get called up from these big clubs, like if you say no, you know what I mean, or if you, it's like you don't know when the next
From that
opportunity is.
opportunity.
Yeah. Uh,
fair. But my argument to you would be Chelsea invested $1 billion, and they're bringing in forward after forward after forward.
mhm.
And when you can't get a run in games, no matter how good you are, you can't get that flow. You can't build those relationships, right? Every other week you have a new forward line. Like, how
Mm.
are you building those relationships to move forward? If it was one or two players, sure, but like Nkuku is a dog. Like he's not a bad player, but he can't get a run of games. And I would say for Maresca, like give him a run of games. Whether he's good or bad, just give him a run of games. Let him build that relationship with Palmer because Palmer is very creative and he drops, he picks up the ball, he gets in those tight positions. Like give him a run of games. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I agree with you. Chelsea is obviously a bigger club from where he came, but sometimes you have to look at the tactical side of it. Is this the right move? And I don't think it was for him. Same thing with Mikhail Mudryk, who's exiled. So glad we didn't pay for him.
Yeah,
Um,
till till this day, I'm still trying to figure that one out.
and what the owner said that he's going to be the next Ballon d'Or winner. Like, kick rocks.
Yeah, it's crazy because like you would think like he comes in like the guy has like the whole personality, the whole swagger, right? Um, he has like the post like in the gym, right? Yeah, working out, right? The legs, the speed, and then match day comes and like you do fuck all. See what I'm saying? Like it's like I to me it's like I can't like especially at that level, right? You getting paid all this money, right?
Yeah.
It's like just put in a fucking shift,
Yeah.
like right? It's like you've like whichever league you were playing in before, right? You had those abilities, right? Like when I see that, it's almost like to me like Def Jam. Sorry, not Def, Space Jam. You guys seen that movie?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, where like the guy loses all his powers
Yeah.
from the aliens or whatnot, right? And doesn't know how to play basketball anymore, right? Like
Yeah.
this, the legit what I'm like seeing, like and right, like tell me if I'm wrong, but it's like almost like
No, no,
these guys
no.
getting how to
You're
play
bang on.
football,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, no, I think like that guy too. We gave him too many opportunities, too many opportunities. Pochettino was willing to go to the grave with him, right? But yeah, he just doesn't produce. And yeah, so but Chelsea overall, like I said, we still have enough games, right, to iron our thing out and like look forward to the next season. I think for us, we have to build that identity for next season at this point, in order to even like compete. Because Man City, they're not going to look to be in the same position they're currently in, right?
no
No.
chance.
Even again, right? Arsenal, I assume things are brewing. Even hey, if the fans, I think if the fans vote, you could get something out of that. But like these clubs are not going to look to right and to compete in the same manner. Mind you, yes, I've backed Liverpool for a long time in terms of their performance, but I also recognize, right, when you look at the where all the teams are, it's a slow season in the Premier League, right? Overall, it is not a season where you have teams performing to the level that they should be performing,
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
which is
man.
why, right?
From third to ninth, it's 7 point difference. Brighton
Right,
7 points off third. And from fourth to ninth, again, it's only 4 points. Like a lot of teams are in the low 40s or high
right.
30s. So um
Yeah, no, it's like the Premier League starting to look like the Bundesliga this year. It's yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, man. Like, got no disrespect to Bundesliga fan, but no, this league is not, it's not known for that, right? It's known for teams willing to edge it out, like to the last day, right? And from what I'm seeing, it's not looking like we're gonna get that. We're gonna know who the winner is fairly soon. And at that point, man, shit, I think most people are gonna tune out. Probably head on over to La Liga, right?
yeah.
But yeah, no. So
Seven goal thriller. Um Newcastle Forest. That's Arsenal's next stop. This was at St. James's Park. Alexander Isak,
Jeez. Gunman killer.
two goals, one PK. Like, eh,
It's a quality striker for you, man.
there's really nothing to say. I don't want to really want to spend any time on it. I don't think anyone's listening to this from the board side. If you miraculously are, pay the man the fucking money. Pay the man the money and bring him. Pay the man. Sorry. Like, what else do you say? They're what? They're in a champion. Well, yeah, they're technically in a Champions League spot because Italy lost their coefficient. So we might have five teams in the Champions League next year.
Mhm.
They're sitting in fifth. That's what he asked for, right? But and
Oh, so
Lo-
if Newcastle somehow wait, you're saying if Newcastle qualifies for the Champions League, he's going to want to stay?
yeah, that was one of the clause that he
Uh,
like again, I don't know all the truths to it, but that's one of the things that he said. He said if they make Champions League, he's willing to stay.
right, right.
So, um, Laurent, how you feeling about your prediction about Forest
Yeah,
making
I'm
top
still like
four?
honestly like with Forest,
They're
it's like
sitting on 47 points. City and Newcastle 44, Bournemouth and Chelsea at 43, Villa 42, Brighton at 40.
mm, yeah, no. It's like from what we've seen, I think they were down what 3-0
Mhm.
or 4-0. Sorry.
No, they were down. They
Well, one
scored
I
their
think it
first
was.
goal. They went down, and then after that, they gave on four unanswered, and they came
Right,
back.
Yeah,
right, right. They can score. That team can score. They seem to always be able to find right the creative solutions up top. But their big issue is they concede way too many goals. So yeah, I think for them it's just ironing out the on the defensive end. But in terms of the top four, man, I still have it. You guys
Okay.
are gonna face some. I don't know why you're laughing, CJ. Hey, with that performance, I would not be laughing. Going up against
Oh, I'm
Nottingham.
worried. I'm
Yeah,
worried. I
100%
don't.
I'm worried, bro. What do you mean? Of course we're worried.
We're at the city ground. That's not an easy place to visit. We're at the
Mhm,
city
Bro,
ground.
any team for us at the moment is going to be a hard game because of the state that we're in. Any team, I don't care who it is.
mhm.
But yeah, in terms of top four, yeah, I still stand on what I said about Forest. It's not about us playing Forest. It's about me still believing that Forest is not going to get top four.
Really?
Yeah,
All right, all right.
The game that crushed all our dreams and hopes. Mo Salah FC again. 2-0. Holland wasn't on the bench. Looks like the knee injury is actual. Like I think it's a serious injury. Even Pep said it after the um said it after post-match conference. He said it's not looking good. So it looks like he's done. And I had sent you guys something in the chat in our chat. Salah's goal contributions.
he's having an unreal like season, bro.
31. It equates to 31 points for Liverpool. Like when you have someone like that world class, you gotta put your hands up and just say, yeah.
But I
So
mean, honestly, like besides the whole Mo Salah FC this, Mo Salah FC that, his team is putting in a shift. Like let's. I think it'd be disrespectful to the club in its entirety if right you label their accomplishments solely to that one man.
But
he's
there's
he's
a
the
lot.
cherry on top. Like they're a good team, but he's
Yeah.
the cherry on top. Like without him, they're not in first. Let's put it that way. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but without him, they're not first.
No, they're not. Because there's been many games that he's taken a 1-1 to or a 2-2 to a 3-2 or a 2-1. There's been many games that he's done that. There's been games that they're down 1-0 and he brings them back and then all of a sudden they score two on the bounce. So it's not to disrespect the back line, it's not to disrespect the rest of the shift that the players are doing, but Mo Salah is, in my opinion, the reason why Liverpool will win this year. And I think they've won it. Like at this point, 11
Yeah,
points, it's over.
yeah, yeah.
Like I think the Anfield game, we're going to be giving them the Guard of Honor.
Well, hopefully they get the guard of honor before that because the way it's looking, they're just gonna keep pulling
Mhm.
apart. To be honest,
Yeah.
Mm.
So, anyways, yeah, I don't
So
know.
I guess
that
my
game.
my initial predictions were right then.
But
CJ
Which one?
about Liverpool winning the league.
Initial prediction.
Yeah, I mean tell the viewers at home or the listeners at home when I predicted this.
Did you predict it?
Oh, of course, bro.
that Liverpool was going to win the league. When did you predict this?
Of course, of course. What? Mehrdad, don't listen to this guy.
I'm asking a question. We all want to know.
This
We're
was
asking for.
2024. I was saying this. I was sounding like a lunatic, like a crazy person.
You said this before the season started?
Oh, oh, before the season started? No.
Yeah. When did you say this?
No, this was like towards like Octoberish. October, so there's already signs, bro. Like you just see it when a team starts off that good, that strong, and like everything is almost is just gel, like it gels naturally, right? And on top of that, for me, actually, screw that whole Mo Salah thing. To me, you gotta respect what Arnie Slot did.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no, no, no, no,
no.
no, no, no. You guys are gonna go say, oh, it's Klopp's team,
It is
man.
Klopp's team.
You know how many managers they could have brought in and not get the results that he's doing right now? Like it's not like I don't think you guys realize what he's doing is it's
Hold on. Let me break your let me destroy your statement in quick succession.
hmm.
Who are the three top players this year?
Who?
Who are their three top players this year? Mo
Liverpool?
Salah,
Hmm.
Trent, Van Dijk. What's the common denominator for those three? What are they playing for? Okay, let me simplify for you. CJ, what did you say about Thomas Partey? He's balling out because
He's out of contract, so he's looking for a contract.
what's the common denominator between those three players, Laurent?
Oh wait, you're saying like what? Like their contract extensions or
Yeah. They're motivated. They're balling out because they're playing for a next contract. They're playing to show Liverpool if they want to stay. It's like, give me my contract, give me my 2-year contract or whatever rate that I want. Again, it's not to disrespect anything else, but like when like this is Jurgen Klopp's team. I don't care what anybody says. This is Jurgen Klopp's team, has his imprints all over it. The only person that I will say that has gone better with Arne Slot is Gravenberch. The rest of them, this is fucking Klopp's team. And the three top players that are carrying Liverpool and will carry them to the title are all playing for a contract. You can't deny it's a fact. They're playing for a contract. Mo Salah, the craziest year ever. Trent, all the defensive lapses aside, some of the passes and the intricacies that he does when he's by their corner flag and he gets the ball somehow to Darwin Nunez or Luis Diaz and starts that counterattack, and Van Dijk just sweeping everything up. Like how can you like you can't say anything about it. So I don't know. Again, it's fair to say it's over. So we're not going to talk about the league anymore. It's tough. It's tough. Um. Anyway,
Laurent, any last rebuttals to defend your team, Liverpool, or your second team? Sorry.
yeah, that's crazy. My team. No, I just
tell
it's
me
just
I'm lying. Like,
you gotta. I feel like what you're saying essentially is that anyone can have came into that job and perform to the level that he's performing currently.
with a team filled with world-class players in their prime and your three top players playing lights out for a contract, I would say yes. It's like when Arsenal in the early 2000s, you didn't need to coach those players. I don't know. Caesar, you tell me. You don't need to fucking coach those players. Go on and play. You have to coach the Galacticos? You're gonna
You want my?
tell Zidane, Figo, like you're gonna tell them what like you don't need to coach that. You give them a little bit of a game plan. Once they're on the field, they do whatever the fuck they want.
I
So
think
wait,
yeah. I think you guys are. Oh, go on. Sorry, Laurent. Go.
no wait. So hold on. So wait, I guess we didn't have to coach PSG, right?
What? How did PSG enter the
No,
conversation?
like I mean, you had Messi, you had Neymar, you had Mbappe, right? Go ahead, play.
Okay, but then what was behind him?
Dude, you're not gonna pretend like what was behind them was like not quality. PSG
Quality
had
con okay, but
maybe it
again,
wasn't like the level of quality that you're referring to with the Galacticos, but that team was quality all around. From the keeper all the way to the number nine, that team had quality.
sure, the quality piece is there, but what's the other caveat that I said?
What the contract the
Your three top players are playing for a next contract. You see it in any sport, NBA, NHL, MLB, doesn't matter what sport, football. Players when they're on a contract year, they play their best. There's no stupid injuries, there's no knocks, there's no nothing. They're playing because they know what it means for the next contract. Your boss comes to you today and says, "Hey, for the next 30 days, it's going to determine if you get a $20,000 raise or not." What are you doing?
yeah, your performance increases.
You're doing overtime, you're doing whatever possible, no excuses. You got 2 hours of sleep, you don't give a fuck. You're getting that $20,000 next month. Mo Salah in his 30s, Van Dijk in his 30s. He wants to set his life up. Trent, peak of his powers. Like, come on. Again, I'm like I hope you're not hearing what I'm not saying. Like this Liverpool team is possibly one of the best teams to not win more trophies because of the robot in Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. However, this year, if it was any coach, they would have won. Given all
See, yeah,
the given everything else, no injuries to deal with.
Any coach is crazy, bro.
yeah,
Like
I agree. I think that's a little wild.
I
That's a
don't I
little
don't I
wild.
don't think so.
I,
listen,
I think I think you guys
Mr.
are both right.
Kaka.
Huh?
I
Well,
say they,
okay, when we're saying any coach, the way that I think about it is the coaches that they were linked with. So the coaches they were linked with, if you guys remember, Jabi Alonso, Ruben Amaran, Arne Slot, and I think Luis Enrique. You're
Arteta would win with this team?
100%. He wouldn't
I don't know.
fuck it up.
He
100%.
might play. He might play Mo Salah left back.
Listen, bro. Left back FC.
I'm kidding. No, but honestly, at the end of the day, I think you guys are both right. Like, obviously, like their players are balling out, like the contract players. I mean, I'm also not going to disrespect them and say that they're only balling because they're on contract. They're also balling because they're world class players, like generally.
Yeah.
I think. But also the coach has come in because we're all saying this is Klopp's team, and it is. But then why didn't Klopp win the league last season with the same team? Arne Slot's coming in. He doesn't need five phases like Arteta, and he's going to win it probably in his first season. So that's where it's like, and I do see the tweaks, the adjustments that he's made to this team as to how he's structurally, he's fixed them a little bit. He's made them a little bit less rock and roll. They have a little bit more control.
Yeah.
Gravenberch is balling. He's brought out the best of Gravenberch when Klopp couldn't do that. So that's where I'll give him credit for. So he's given them that midfield structure that they've been missing. Um, so there is a combination of that, but otherwise, yeah, the rest of the team is still the same because you still have the world class up top in Mo Salah. You still have that same back four that Klopp had that was world class and that won championships and won trophies under Klopp. So it's still essentially like Laurent. What I said to you was that let's see how good Arne Slot is when this team dismantles because a lot of those players are aging, right? Salah, Van
mm,
Dijk, like those guys are going to move on, right? Or I don't know, they may even leave the club after their contract, and there's going to be turnover there because there's aging players in that team. So once this team has to dismantle, and then it really becomes Arne Slot's team in terms of he has to go out and recruit his own players and whatnot. Then let's see how good Slot is then, because right now he walked into a pretty decent situation. Where I keep talking smack about Arteta, at least Arteta walked into a shit team. At least Slot walked into a team full of world class ballers already. So when Slot has to put together a team of his own players, let's see how good he is then. That's the only
mm.
thing I'll say to that.
And
Okay.
again, I hope you didn't hear what I'm not saying. These are world-class fucking players. You asked me, like I would take it a majority of them in our team. It's not to
Mm.
disrespect any of them, but I think they have that extra 5-10% because of that contract year, because every single player knows that this may be the last time that they all play together collectively. They're gonna give that extra 2-3%. Salah came out and even said it. He said, my biggest goal this year is to win the Premier League because it may be my last time to do it. Like the players coming out and literally saying it. It's not to take away anything from what they're doing, but like the facts are the facts. He said it. So, anyways, coming to the Champions League draw, we kind of predicted this. We were talking about it. So we landed PSV, round of 16. To get past them, we got one of the Madrid teams waiting, most likely Real Madrid. Looks like Saka Martinelli should be back by then. Maybe not. Martinelli may be back for the second leg of the PSV game, and Saka should be back by April. Um, and then looking slightly ahead, if we miracle get past Madrid, who do we got waiting for us? Fucking Liverpool. So, what do you guys think of the draw of PSV?
First of all, at this moment in time, it seems like a miracle if we get past PSV, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest.
Hmm.
And that's my honest assessment. And the reason why that is my honest assessment is because we're 2 games since we lost Kai Havertz. 2 games in, Leicester and West Ham. Okay? We lost to West Ham and we struggled badly against Leicester, who's probably going to get relegated. We didn't even talk about this game in our game recap over the weekend, but Brentford just slapped them 4-0 on Friday. I believe the game was on Friday
Oh,
in
yes.
the Premier
Sorry.
League.
Yeah.
So we struggled to break down that Leicester team. Brentford put 4 past them. Okay. So we're only 2 games in without our beloved striker, Kai Havertz, right? 2 games in. So Leicester was number 1, as I said. We struggled badly. West Ham was 2, and we lost to them at home. So we're only going to be playing better opposition from here on out. Let's run through our next few games real quick. Forest, United, Chelsea in the Premier League in a row. Sandwich in between that is 2 Champions League games. So the opposition is only going to get better after Leicester and West Ham, who we just played. Those 2 teams are in the lower bottom half of the Premier League table. So the oppositions that we're going to play in the next 5 games are going to be better than those 2 teams. And how do we do against those 2 teams? I'm worried as hell. I'm telling you. PSV, I'm telling you, it might be a miracle if we get past PSV the way we're performing
Yeah,
against
if we
Mark in a
lose
row.
the first leg more than one goal, we're fucked. We're fucked.
Like it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good.
Yeah. On the other, yeah. I,
I'm genuinely worried about the PSV game. I'm not even bantering. Like I'm worried, bro.
What
no.
do you think? What do you guys think the lineup or the forward line is going to be for that? No, genuinely.
I'm hoping Martinelli's back by then.
Yeah, bro. That's wishful thinking. I'm not gonna lie.
Like for the second leg, I think Martinelli will be back, but the first leg is probably going to be what we saw this past weekend, unless and 1 year he's cramp was an actual injury. If that's the case, then we might as well pack it in.
Well, but both of them, both they're saying both Saka and Martinelli are gonna be back after the international break, and both games against PSV are before the international break.
So then,
So it's looking peak. Not gonna lie. Like Laurent, your question is, what's our forward line gonna be looking like? Honestly, it's gonna look like the same thing it's looked like last game or last because we don't have much options unless we do a whole formation change and get the most out of wing backs. Play three at the back or 5 at the back with wing backs and just throw 2 up top and like Marino and Trossard or some shit. But like
Hmm.
we actually don't have much options. So if we keep the personnel in the lineup the same, it's gonna be the same forward line, which is a massive worry.
maybe to your point, maybe Arteta does have to look at it, and with Ben White healthy now, maybe you do play a 3-5-2. It's not something that he wants to do, but that's how we won the FA Cup.
Yeah, that's how we won the FA Cup. Yeah.
against Chelsea and sorry, City. Yeah, Chelsea and City play the 3-5-2. And I think Socrates was holding it down as the sweeper. Oh God. But yeah. Um Liverpool, they drew in form PSG, which I don't think they'll get past them easily, but I have them winning that. I don't think PSG can withstand them over two legs. Club Brugge landed Villa.
Mm.
If I was a Villa fan, I would be excited, but I would also realize that Club Brugge, they're the giant slayer. I wouldn't take them lightly. Um, Barca get Benfica. It's gonna be another shootout. That's gonna be a wild two legs. Benfica got a chip on their shoulders after that last game with all the controversy and stuff, so I wouldn't be shocked if that's gonna be a charged game. Um, Dortmund land Lille. And I think that like the most interesting draw, aside from the Madrids, Atletico and Real Madrid, is the Leverkusen.
Bayern and Leverkusen.
Yeah, that's
That
gonna
one's gonna be
be that's gonna
fun.
be a good,
Yeah.
over two legs. Recently it was like a 0-0 draw. Like there was really nothing in it, and Bayern played like shit. They looked
Yeah.
leggy. They didn't look like any creativity, and it's crazy to say that they don't have creativity with the players that they have. We're here roasting Arsenal for it, but like the players that they have, like zero creativity. Um,
Yeah. Company's not getting the best out of them at the moment, I feel like.
no, no, not at all. And then Feyenoord, the new Van Persie Feyenoord get Inter, which Inter is gonna, in my opinion, Inter is gonna steamroll them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Feyenoord stands a chance.
Steamroll. Hmm.
I honestly don't think Feyenoord score over the two legs.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
but
interesting.
Inter allowed one goal in all of the
In the group
matches.
stage?
Yeah, they allowed one goal.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they were always known for being defensively sound.
Yeah,
The new manager they have.
yeah.
It's
I,
the pretty much the same Inter team that took City to the final, right? In the
yep.
CL.
Aside from their keeper being different, yep,
Hmm.
yep. They got I think Jan Sommer, De Vrij, Dumfries, Vertesi, Mkhitaryan, Benjamin Pavard, Iranian star Mehdi Taremi, Marcus Thuram, Zielinski, Bišćak, DeMarco, Arnautovic, Çalhanoğlu, Darmian, same team. One goal against like they played some they played some good games. They played against us when we were at full strength pretty much.
Those are result that
Hmm?
1-0.
1-0
One
for who?
Inter.
Inter,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know. They played Leverkusen. That's the only game that they lost, and that's the only goal that they gave up. So
But somehow they still finished in the group standings. Where did they finish? They still finished below us too, I believe.
yeah, they finished fourth on goal
Okay.
differential because we had 16 goals, 3 goals allowed. They had 11 goals, 1 goal allowed, so it was plus 13, plus 10. And then Barcelona again, goal differential, they scored 28 goals, but they allowed 13.
Hmm.
What do you
So
guys think of this format?
What the new Champions League format?
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't mind it. I don't mind it because as it progresses, like games still mean something. Whereas if you win your first like 3 games in the group stages, you're pretty much locked in to go through.
hmm.
And then the last 3 games don't really mean much. Whereas for this, it doesn't matter if you win your first three. Look at Brest. Like they
Sporting too. Yeah. Sporting started hot and then fell
yeah,
off.
yeah. So I actually kind of like it.
I just think they feel like you should bring back the aggregate rule, right? That's
Oh yeah, you think so?
yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it had a little spice to it, especially on with some games where even if you tie or something like that, like you have to win. You see what I'm saying? Like
Because of
uh
the away goal rule.
yeah, yeah. Like there's like yeah, so it's like there's no tying the game. Sorry, like
Mhm.
right? Like you'd have to win to go through. Whereas now, right? Like teams have that luxury. Okay, we can take it to extra time in certain right in pretty much all cases if we uh get specific results, right? So that's kind of what I don't like now because now like if it's right, it gets down to that point, teams are gonna play it safe, right? And you don't get that extra drama that you're used to with the aggregate. Yeah.
Well, speaking of play it safe, if we somehow get past PSV and we do draw Real Madrid, let's say, I'm 100% playing it safe. I'm playing prime Chelsea, Jose Mourinho park the bus, 11
Oh
behind the
yeah,
ball. Oh,
we're
bro,
playing that
that's
game
that's
against
apparently
City.
our strength, right? It's apparently our strength is defending. So I told you that tie would be attack versus defense. We have nothing up front. So park the damn bus, put everyone behind the ball, stink out the game, and then try and score off a cheeky corner. Bro, I swear to God,
Yeah.
that's how I would do it.
Really,
Bro, what?
damn, bro. Like nobody's trying to like see that. Like,
I
Well,
don't
hey,
care,
we're
bro. I'm not trying to do
that's
it
what
for.
Madrid did to City. We did that to City. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. We did that to City, and Ancelotti followed our footsteps, and he did the same thing to City. So
This in this year, this season?
no, no, last year, last year.
Oh, I was gonna say, you think Madrid parked the bus against City
No,
this
no, no,
season?
no,
Wow.
no, no, no. What?
No.
No, it was last year. Remember when we faced City and when Roger made that comment that only one team came to
Yeah,
win or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Um, I don't think anyone got the predictions right for the West Ham game, right? Because we all had
Nope.
so Forest midweek. What do we let's start with the non someone who has no emotional ties to this. Laurent, what's your prediction for Forest away?
ah, so a team that can score versus a team that can defend and that currently is unable to score. Damn. I want to say 2-1, but I don't know who. But
2-1.
yeah.
Wow. If you're going
Yeah.
2-1,
That's
then
not
you're
very
saying
helpful,
2-1
bro.
Forest.
Huh?
One for who, man? Come on.
This would be a huge result for Forest's top four charge.
Well, those games where, yeah, I feel like it can go either way. I don't know, man. Like, and like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, are you guys really gonna like, reproduce the same kind of? Oh man.
Here, let me make it easier for you. I'm going 2-0 Forest.
Nah. See, I can't see you guys going through that game and not scoring though. That's the thing.
But how do you see us scoring? Like, how?
Going at.
I don't see us scoring in a corner.
I mean, you guys, I'm telling you, funny enough, it's your defenders come clutch. That's the funny part. It is like there's been so many games where it's not even your offensive line that's scoring, it's your defenders coming to the rescue. So it's like you guys have that, if anything, you know? And yeah, so it's like what was the result the game before that? Before West Ham?
Leicester? When we won 2-0?
Okay, so that's 2-0. Honestly, yeah, man, like I don't think you guys are not the type of team that goes into games not like, it's like you may not score as many, right? Like, but you guys still manage to find a way to get the ball in the back of the net. Essentially, is what I'm saying.
Okay. So then you're saying 2-1 Arsenal?
I I'm saying 2-1, but it can go either way.
No,
Is
bro,
no, we're not accepting that.
you gotta make
But
a
All right, all right, all right. 2-1 Forest.
okay. CJ.
man,
Listen, as an optimist here, I'm fucking saying 2-0 Forest. Like I just want the pain to be done. I just want the like
I'm going. Hmm, this one is looking scary, bro.
Yeah, Mehrdad, the fact that you don't even have your team scoring one is a bit concerning for me, bro.
Bro, because it's but like, what do you mean? How are we gonna score? We just literally don't. We don't look like scoring nowadays. We don't.
Forest
How?
gave up
How are we gonna score?
4 to like an Isak led team at St. James's Park. If this game was played at the Emirates, I would have said 1-0 for the Arsenal because I think we would squeeze away to win. But we're playing at the City ground. It's not an easy ground, and we're not good at the City ground. We've lost there before, and we've been embarrassed there before. I'm just being real. Like, do I want to say 2-0 for us? No, but I'm just being real. Like with the situation at hand.
Especially because these predictions are counting for something. We still have to figure out the wagers at the end of the season when we tally our points.
Mm.
But so yeah, make realistic predictions, guys. Laurent, that's your final answer. 2-1 Forest.
Yeah, 2-1 Forest. Yeah.
2-1 Forest. I'm gonna go. Hmm, I feel like this is gonna be wrong. Nah, fuck, should I? Are we really all gonna predict losses for Arsenal? Jeez, okay. I'm gonna go. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna go 1-0 Forest.
1-0.
Write those write those down real quick, yo. 1-0 Forest.
Wait, so how does that even look like? They score early and then they defend the rest of the game?
Or Chris Wood second half comes on and score. Hudson-Odoi's been balling. Anthony Elanga's been balling. I can see it being 0-0 to like the 60th minute and then they score.
Yeah, they do have good firepower up top, man. Yes, they do.
Yeah. But
Your old Chelsea boy Hudson-Odoi, Laurent.
yeah, he's fucking balling. He scored the
Yeah.
opener in the game against Newcastle. Um,
Yeah. I'm sticking to 1-0. 1-0 for Forest, unfortunately. Sorry, listeners. It's been a pretty negative prediction this week, but we're just keeping it real.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so okay, 1-0, 2-1, and then you said 2-0, right, Mehrdad?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, make sure, Laurent. You have it written down? Track
Yeah.
those.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, on that bombshell of an episode, there isn't really much to say. Listeners, as always, we appreciate you so much for listening to our banter, listening to our therapy session, as you, you want to call it. Um,
Hey, Mehrdad, end us off on a positive, man. We can't go outside.
no, no,
Give us some.
I'm coming to it. I'm coming around to it.
All right.
Um, but hey, look, on the positive note, we got 3 friends that came together to start something. Um, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep pushing through. We're still gonna give you the content twice a week. Um, And listen, at the end of the day, whether Arsenal win the league or not, we're here to give you some raw content. This is our true emotions. You can ask the guys. Like I was questioning if I was going to even record today because of how upset I was, but at the end of the day, this is for the viewers. This is to show you guys how the football team impacts us, and I do think we'll bounce back from this. It's just when. Um, but yeah, I don't know how to make this positive. I'm fucking hurting, bro. Like, how do I make this positive? I don't know if this is positive. Tomorrow's
Always
fucking
next season.
Monday. I don't even know how to make this positive when tomorrow's Monday. Like,
Always next season, gents. Always next
oh
season.
fuck.
That's the positive.
Next season FC. But no, for real, like we got a couple good things looking ahead for us, and let's keep on going.
Gotta try, yeah. Gotta try.
Yeah.
People hit the like and subscribe for us. Hit
Yeah.
the like button, subscribe. We'll keep
Yes,
bringing up the
sir.
content. Hopefully, Arsenal keeps putting up. All I will say is, from a positive perspective, is the law of averages. We can't keep losing. We can't keep being this down bad. One way or another, something around the corner has to be positive. So maybe it's our time in the Champions League, and somehow we pull a Chelsea versus Bayern Munich in 2013 and defend for our lives, and get a Drogba type corner and go through against PSV and Madrid. Find ourselves somehow in a Champions League semifinal or some shit.
That sure to boost the morale.
Yeah, somehow. I don't believe it, but I had to say it. Just manifest the energy out there.
Yeah. All right, fellas. See you guys again. We got the next pod coming out Friday morning for you. We'll review the week's games, and I think there's a couple games midweek before the international break. But thank you as always, and see you guys on the other side.